place, like we're really praying to him and talking to him about. I also know the people around me, you know what I mean? I'm very prophetic, very intuitive. I kind of know where everybody's at, like where they're at psychologically, spiritually, emotionally. And the biggest word that just keeps coming to mind for the collective of God's children is exhausted, you know? And so I've
Right.
been asking, and I've been praying, like, so what do we do? What do you want us to do, Lord? And he said, he wants us to be still. He wants us
Well,
to,
remember, yeah, and that's true. And remember what it says. He's talking about the different churches, and he goes, "I know you have but a little strength." I
so
think it
he,
was the Church of Smyrna or something like that. That I know you have a little, just a little strength, but hold on to what you got. In other words, I'm coming.
well,
Hold on.
I think he wants us to turn into the Church of Philadelphia. And it's like because it's bringing us back to the most important thing of this whole journey. Like, right? Like, all of us so love him and we so believe in him, and we've literally laid down, like, you know, gone against our family's wishes, our friends' wishes, quit lucrative paying worldly jobs, you know, to live on the edge and just trust him every day with no plan other than to get up and just trust him for the day and just, you know, listen to what he's downloading and move on it. And that's how from the beginning, when I started ended up about starting the assembly here in Hawaii, I was on the wrong call. I told you this story. I was thinking I was on Judge Anna Von Reitz's call, and I ended up being on Andy and Darren from the National Assembly.org, or net. It was national-assembly.net, because that link was on one of those blogs explaining all this about Nasara Jasara and freedom. And anyway, that was like 15 years ago, right? But when I met Andy and those guys, that was a good 5 or 6 years ago. It was before we started the assembly. And then I was literally out there calling out every friend I know, just begging them, Jeffrey, just to be able to have somebody to talk to discuss these things, because I could see it and I knew you could too. When the minute I met you, I was like, oh, he gets it. You know, it's like meeting David Strait or Bonnie or, you know, a whole bunch of people on the internet that we've met or new friends, like talking to Ryan. When we all meet, it's like, oh, family, thank God. Because
Right.
somebody to communicate with that's not, you know, been so programmed or dumbed down that you can't even hold a conversation with them, really. So
Right.
how do we, at this point, I was like asking the Lord, like, because I love all those people. I love all the sheeple out there. If I didn't, I couldn't be doing this. That's for sure. Like you said, we'd just be selfish and be having a grand old time until we're out of here, right? But you have,
Yeah.
just like Jesus, I have compassion for people, even the bad ones, because their pain, they just keep hurting themselves and keep hurting other people. But I was like that too. You know what I mean? Before the Lord drew me out and completely flipped over my life and started showing me all this stuff and started having me learn to be still and listen and study. And I've always liked studying, but the level of study we've all done to learn this stuff is way beyond,
Yeah.
it's way beyond normal.
It's way beyond normal, and then you realize that, damn, I should have started a lot longer
Oh,
ago.
kindergarten. If we had started in kindergarten, see, okay, so that's part of the goal, because I didn't even start this till around 40 when I went back to Bible school at 40, because I was just so sick of the world. I was like, oh my God, there's got to be something else. I'm going to go back. I'm going to learn the Bible, because I've always had a Bible. I was told I was Christian my whole life, but I don't even know what it really means. It's like living in Hawaii and helping Ron Curtis for that little bit of time because he told me he was a libertarian. I didn't know what that meant, except he said he was a constitutionalist. So I'm like, good, because this left right duality reality with this Democrat Republican thing is not working. So I was even in fellowship with the Lord early this morning, honestly. And he was telling me, you guys keep trying to fix the two side of the eagle of the coin that's still Rome, Babylon, Vatican with a new guy or a new prop up, you know, just reinventing the two-sided party thing. But nobody wants that. Everybody wants heaven on earth. There is no religion on this planet that actually wants to just turn it into Gaza. But yet
No, but at the same time, they're wanting one thing in one hand, and then they want justice and vindication in the other hand. And
right, so that's
God's
the ultimate
God's
war.
grace is God's grace.
Right,
He's giving absolute grace,
right,
and
but
He's expecting us to do absolute grace too.
okay, but isn't that the absolute war between the battle is in the mind between good and evil of what you think is good or what you think is
Absolutely.
evil,
Yeah,
depending
and who
on
we
your
are as
fate,
capricious.
right? Depending on your book, your flavor, where you were raised, what part of the world you're programming. But wonder if okay,
If you eaten or haven't eaten, if you
right? Well,
slept
yeah,
well or
there's
haven't
many,
slept
many,
well.
many factors, but the whole true reality of the whole situation is we're not fighting with flesh and blood. It's powers that be that are in heart. But who are they? Who's control? That's where we've all been like studying all this hidden stuff to find out, well, who are they that's running all this? Of why can't we fix it? Well, we already
Right.
know we have exhausted every single realm of working in their courtroom system, which we know is all fraudulent.
Well, the only place we haven't used yet
Is equity, probate. We haven't really tried that yet either. But also, it's like using the registrar, like, Ryan is in the process of still finishing up. But the point is, we know we're all in the right. Okay, in other words, what have we learned through this whole journey of assembly work, working with all these people, all the kingdom people? Well, we've all been studying history, have we not? Like really studying history and pulling things that we never learned in school, that's for sure. And realizing we've been lied to about freaking everything we've ever been taught, ever.
Yeah.
It's been totally upside down, inverted lies.
We've been living a lie,
Right.
and now that we know, we're coming out of it.
Right. So here, like, that young man, I think I introduced you to him before. His name is Aaron from Washington. Do you remember him?
I remember he and I texted back and forth a couple times.
Well, he's intense. I love him to death, but he's like, so you know how sometimes when you meet people that there's so many years or whatever in their understanding of stuff, but they feel alone. They don't feel like anybody's supporting them, and they start getting an attitude. Well, I understand.
Right. But you can't self-isolate and then blame people for feeling isolated.
Well, and here's the other thing. He'll say to me, like, I've had the answer for a long time, but you're not. In other words, I'm not supporting him enough to push him of he's got the answer. And I said, well, the reason is because I still don't understand what you're trying to exactly say. And I'm not, it isn't biblical the way I hear you saying it. But there are things now, 2 or 3 years later, that he's saying that under my new understanding of understanding this canon law, understanding ecclesia law, understanding a lot of things that I didn't have before, I'm able to hold a conversation like as if we're in the court of law, right? Then debating without getting so triggered with religion. In other words, you're a new ager. And like, I can, and I'm basically shutting him down on even really listening to him because it sounds like total new age junk to me. You know what I mean? But now 3 years.
And a lot of it is.
Right. Well,
it's nothing but deceit. And the thing is, he probably believes what he believes is real.
Well, this is why I brought him to a lot of.
Mine has a bumper sticker that says, "Don't believe everything you think."
Yes, exactly. But what the reason sometimes I've had pastors say, "Why do you even bring those people to me?" And I said, because of exactly what you said, just Jeffrey. They think they're the answer, or they're they're self-delusional. But the point, but what I'm trying to say is the passion, the charisma, if you can get them on the right track that somebody can actually reach them, they're still worth reaching. But you never know. It's in God's hands. You never know. Some people, I mean, I just look at the old me, and that's why I'm helping this young lady really bad with CPS, because I see how twisted and targeted. She's like this innocent kid and no family involvement at all. She kind of left her parents when she got pregnant, and this whole thing went down 4 years ago. Her mom actually told her to leave the baby in CPS and just come home. What? So she felt like completely abandoned by her family. So she's not even talking to him. She doesn't want her daughter with them. She just kind of thought she could handle all this on her own. But the boyfriend court ordered them not to be together. So she's not allowed around him. So he has no, and he just kind of gave up on his parental rights because the court was just so in their view, they were putting them through so much hell. And as Maury has said, because I've asked Maury to help me with this, there has never been any proof at all that Jenny or the baby were in danger. She had told a therapist that she didn't feel safe because it was a therapist and she had no idea the therapist was going to go around her and go to the state and report her for potential endangerment or something. But the point is, they came in right away and snatched the kid. And I asked her the other day, like, did they threaten Chip? First, she resisted and said she didn't want to give the baby to them, right? But then afterwards, they came with the police, and Jenny told me, she said, I was so shaking and so afraid, and they kept threatening and threatening me. So I said, basically, the whole thing was under duress. And she said, I felt scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. And like, that is their whole MO.
Exactly.
But
Now, in equity, she has rights.
Right. So we
Okay, and she needs to actually take it to the federal because the state is not going to give equity.
Well, I need to go ahead and get her to know some stuff, and we need to get. She needs legal advice. I need to have her on the phone with you, Maury, Ryan, and really figure out the strategy.
Well, the thing is, Maury or someone else like that that's over there can approach the court as best next friend.
Right.
And then they operate like an attorney in fact.
Right. Oh, she could write up an attorney in fact for him to represent her, even and fly him over.
Yeah, but he doesn't know. You want to go in as next friend.
Okay. Well, see, I don't even know about that. So let's just you can coach me on that one. But here's the thing, what I'm saying. I've got like 9 days to get her ready, and she's not. I mean, as far as like, she's doing great. She's got a job. She's doing all the things. She's got a steady place to live. She's got a support system. She's going to church. She's not doing anything wrong. The problem that she is running out of time and she doesn't know how to, her lawyer, she feels like, is not really helping her. And I've talked to the lawyer, talk about weak. This woman has no chutzpah at all. And I'm like, wow. I mean, she seems like a nice lady, but like, she's not feisty. She's working right with the state. So, and the,
right. Well, they swear. You have to understand that she's basically considered an indigent or an incompetent infant when you hire an attorney.
well, she's state appointed, but there's no way she could do this without us showing up in the last hour to help her. That's where God's grace came in at the last minute for this whole entire situation.
She's sitting on the floor playing on her phone. I said,
right.
She's been waiting for you for an hour. I said, now means now.
Yeah. So we've got to have a little talk with her today too, because
Gibson. I sent you Gibson's, didn't I?
I don't know. I got to look all that up, but I've got to go down. So I need a copy of the child's birth certificate, right? And then I was also told by Ryan she needs to get another copy of her birth certificate, which she doesn't have. And it's just. Like I said, I'm working like a Hanai mom, behind the scene, really trying to help her. But and I'm not saying she's not trying, because she is, but it's like, I can just tell there's either trauma from childhood, from her own family stuff, or from this whole case thing is just, and I get it, because they make you feel like nothing and so small and no hope that they just, these kids, like, you just want to give up. But then we showed up. So I keep trying to tell her, if I can get you guys, we can get in a mighty little hooey, to really strategize we've got 9 days. I live here. I can go to the bureau, get everything filed. And I could even fly over with her if they'll let me go. Or if Maury, if she would let him go as, would you call it, as a friend?
Next friend.
Next friend? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's just basically you'll have to look. It's next friends, guardians, ad litem, and it's in Gibson's 103.
Okay, so, but it says to get you legally allowed to accompany her to the courtroom.
Well, actually can do all this stuff in court. The next friend is deemed an officer of the court and the minor ward of the court.
Oh, that's perfect.
So-
Then we could have Maury go over and represent her through the
Exactly.
ministry. And I'm already training her up. I'm trying to train her up as a, like I said, you need mommy boot camp for real. Like your meeting's gonna end here in 5 minutes. So we'll end for now when this thing shuts down, and then I'll hook up with you later. But Maury's agreed to, through the ministry, now that me and Antoinette are trying to work everything out. And I think we will, because like my whole goal is I kept saying to her, is like, we just got to heal with every single one of our friends and make amends with everybody we've had even a little squabble with that we really love, because we need to all come together. He needs every able-bodied soldier in his body to come together to get these people awake, aware, and change their status from hell to heaven. It's that simple. And I sent you those things because I think with the UCC and that document I have here right in front of you, I sent it. It's the Roman canon laws. All of this is like 2 pages, and it's powerful. And you put that with an affidavit, I think it could be part of the mix. So anyway, let's pick it up later tonight, but I got to run her in and get that birth certificate right now.
All right, all right.
Thank you. I love you, my other friend from heaven.
For Tony and Ryan to show up if they do.
Well, maybe
So-
they can reconnect a little later this evening if we rally back in a couple hours. Maybe we can touch base with him. Just tell him, maybe send a text and say, Ahava is really helping her little friend with the CPS case. And we really
Okay.
need to pull together as a team. We'll use this as just a training thing for how to get it into equity. See, I asked Maury the other day, should I ask for a continuance since there's all kinds of new evidence in the case? Because the social worker is still moving as if there's no new evidence, but everything is new. She didn't have a job before. She didn't have a place to live. She didn't have anything. Now she has
Well,
a
there
job.
you go. That's the quickest way to.
So should
That
it-
should be your next document to file.
Well, should it be
Those are perfect
continuance,
things
or
based on-
should it be continuance, or should it be a stay in the case and retry the whole thing? Or they might just drop it if they know all of the boxes are checked, because everything that she needed before, she's basically, since she's been here, she's been able to accomplish.
Right, and that would be the thing. Now exactly which avenue you take, that's
That's why I need to go sit with
legal
her and take her
politics.
to Maury's place. I told Maury, since, I said, oh, we'll be up early. It's mid-afternoon and I still have to go pick up a birth certificate, so.
I said, no.
Anyway, sweetie, I gotta go. I love you.
Okay.
Thank you for being the mighty warrior for the Most High, for the kingdom of God, manifesting it on earth as it is in heaven. You are a blessed and noble warrior of the Most High. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you.
God bless. Aloha. Bye-bye.
Aloha.
Well, you got more patience than I do.